Hello there, Dave here. We're going to get back into Joshua chapter 10, the southern kings being conquered in the land of Canaan. It's also where Joshua is battling and asks the Lord to have the sun stand still, and God does that. Not exactly sure what really happened there. Doesn't really have to, the earth didn't have to really stop spinning for that to have worked. He could have just slowed it down a little bit. We just know that it was a longer day. There's an interesting story about there being a long night somewhere in Chinese history, which is interesting. But there's a lot of speculations as to what exactly happened. I do know that God did make the day longer for whatever reason at that time for Israel to be able to conquer, well, that's the reason, to be able to conquer the people at that time. Including, God also sent hailstones for, out of the sky, including those would be meteorites, that kind of thing. Maybe hailstones, maybe meteorites, I'm not sure exactly, but either way, God put those in trajectory to kill only Israel's enemies at the time. All the Canaanite cities falling. Chapter 11, the northern Canaanite armies defeated, all the northern kings. Chapter 12, listing the conquered kings defeated by Moses and those defeated by Joshua. Chapter 13, the remaining land allotments east of the Jordan. That would include Reuben and Gad, who wanted to be on the other side of the Jordan River. Again, the original land promised to Abraham actually went all the way to the Euphrates, so all of this land was promised land at any rate. Chapter 14, the western land is divided. Caleb's inheritance, go in there and tear down all the trees in order to make room for yourselves. And they did that. Chapter 15, 16, and 17 is all the inheritance to Judah, Ephraim, western half of Manasseh, because the eastern half of Manasseh stayed on the other side of the Jordan River. All the inheritance to Joseph's sons, Ephraim, Zelophehad's daughters. Remember, they were asking Moses about a way to get inheritance because they didn't have any brothers. So that's interesting. Chapter 18 and 19, inheritance to the remaining tribes, all of the boundary cities, all of the divisions of land. Remember, tribes are regional as well as people. So you can have a region that belongs to Judah and still be a person living over in Benjamin's territory and be a Judahite. You can be, you can have those different cultural, your family line, but also be living in a different region. So there's a little bit of back and forth between that. It's kind of calling like an area San Diego County and moving out of San Diego County, but originally being from it. That's how it works. It's a little confusing. Chapter 20, the cities of refuge. Again, that's where God gave them the ability to flee if they committed manslaughter, to protect them from the avenger of blood. And that's a picture of what Jesus does for us. We are held in his protection from sin because he died for us. Chapter 21, cities appointed to the Levites. Chapter 22, a misunderstanding that was reconciled. Joshua giving them exhortations. I love how God continues to encourage Joshua. He's conquering all these territories and conquering all these people, and God is still giving him encouragement throughout this entire thing, just like he does for us. No matter what kind of battles we're going through, and we will go through those battles, God doesn't save us from the battle. He saves us through the battle. Remember that. Jesus took the disciples through the storm. Chapter 23, Joshua's farewell address, all the things that the Lord has done. We still have a lot to do. So you hear people going, we just need to cross over the Jordan River into our promised land. Well, the promised land was a lot of work. Joshua and the people of Israel did a lot of conquering while they were there. Chapter 24, the renewal of the covenant, reminding them that God was faithful to the patriarchs. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God was faithful to their escape from Egypt, 40 years in the wilderness, and now in the land of Canaan. Again, the challenge to choose God above all of the idols and all of the other things that would distract you in life in the land of Canaan. That's, again, a thing we need to remember in our daily walk with God, is to hold on to him and seek his face, and he will meet us when we seek him with all of our hearts. God bless, my friends. We will start Book of Judges next.